everyone, if you're new here, I'm Chronically Jenny, and me and my partner Ian are off on our first ever holiday abroad together. We haven't actually been on holiday on our own together because every time we've been away, we've either been to my dad's or to my mum's. So literally we spent 2 days in Alton Towers and that's been it. So this is really exciting. We are off on the P&O Iona around the Norwegian Fjords, and we are so excited to take you along with us, talk a little bit about the accessibility in terms of myself as an ambulatory wheelchair user, and as someone who has a lot of food sensitivities and just chronic illnesses in general, and yeah, just see what the Iona and what the fjords have to offer. I've been very lucky to go on a fair few cruises throughout my life. The last cruise was the last holiday I went on in summer 2019, and that was with TUI to Italy and Croatia, but Ian has never been on a cruise before, and I'm so excited to show him what cruising is like, because it's definitely my favourite kind of holiday. And also I just can't wait to see his face when he sees how big the boat is, because I think he has no idea of the scale of this. We'll see you there. Hey guys, we are on the ship. We are here on Iona, and it's lovely and very exciting. We got through the terminal really quickly and easily. There were access people, and every member of staff sent us through the like access line as soon as we got to them, so it was really smooth and really easy. Getting on the ship, however, was a little bit confusing. Once we got on, we got told to go straight to our muster station, which I've never had to do before. I assumed it was because we got on the ship fairly late. We got on at 3, but it turns out that we just had to go to our muster station and be scanned, but the staff members didn't really make that very clear. So we had to wait for a bar guy to tell us when we were sat at the table in the bar with, you know, my pillow and all of our stuff. So yeah, we just had to go and be scanned, and then we could come to our room to watch the safety briefing. So they just needed to make sure we knew where our muster station was, basically. So don't be like us, don't sit around for ages. And also, the main lifts in the midship were an absolute nightmare. We waited for ages because people that definitely could have used the stairs were just running to the lifts. It wasn't until another disabled lady, like, that was standing, stopped and opened the door and let us get on in my wheelchair that we could get in the lift into our room. I think it was mainly because they were bringing bags on board, but it was still very busy later on, and we went, we just walked along the ship to the forward lifts, and it was much easier. So tip, definitely don't use the midship lifts on embarkation day. But we've had a mini explore. We haven't seen very much, but I'm gonna get changed and I'm gonna go find some food. It's Ian's first cruise experience, and he's all over the map. I think we'll have figured it out by the end of the week. But you're just very excited, aren't you?
Yeah, there's so much to do.
What were you...
It's big.
What were you just saying about the theatre?
It spans 2 decks.
Like a theatre?
Like a theatre.
We're up on the very top deck. It's very windy. We've got Dover behind us this way. We've got Calais behind us this way. Unfortunately we were really delayed leaving last night because of the wind, so we didn't leave till 2 AM, so we're going to miss our port in Stavanger tomorrow, which is a real shame. But it means another sea day, and now we're going to go, you're going to go have a gaming lesson?
Gambling. Some money.
We'll see how he gets on. It's celebration evening, we're all dressed up. We just waited a very long time for a couple of photos. I hope they turn out nice. But we're out on but we're out on deck and it's beautiful. Even though it is what, like nearly 9 o'clock.
Windy as well.
It is a bit windy. We haven't had dinner yet. We're gonna go find some dinner.
They got their Harry, yeah. Okay, thank you.
Wake up, really gonna ride the sun. Step 3, grow harder, I what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just doing his thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo. Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it rep.
It's a beautiful day. There is not a cloud in the sky, but by gosh, is it windy? It's another day at sea on the Iona. Whee!
Couple of cheese balls.
Yeah, lovely. It's a beautiful.
Guests are not required to take their passports ashore today. The weather this morning is overcast with light drizzle and the air temperature at present of 13 degrees Celsius.
Hello from a very wet and chilly Olden. It's pretty beautiful though, even though there's the ship. We've got snow-topped mountains behind us. We've got water on the lens already because it's wet. And we're going for an explore. We'll see what we end up doing. We're going this way.
The one you are cruising on this morning, its name is Fjord. It's the 4th longest fjord in Norway. From the bay.
See the glacier right in the background. John might see. Oopsie. It's beautiful. everyone. Sorry we haven't really spoken like this in a couple of days. It's been busy but uncertain because yesterday we were meant to be in Stavanger and we couldn't go because of the weather, so we ended up having another day at sea because we left Southampton very late because of wind. So we ended up having 2 full days at sea. Yesterday you saw us at archery, which was actually really fun, even if it was very windy. And then I had a manicure at the spa, which was really lovely. I had the fire and ice manicure, which had like hot stones and hot towels and then like cold refreshing gel. It was really lovely. Oh, we had the formal night the evening before. There was a lot of waiting around for photos and I did make us get a lot of photos. But it was a really lovely evening. Ian very much enjoyed his well, it wasn't a 5-course dinner in the end, was it? You didn't get your 5 courses.
Have all 5.
I just didn't think you needed a soup. We would have missed the show if he'd have had the soup, so I didn't let him. But the shows have all been really good. The what was the show called that we saw, that the celebration night, the Sky's the Limit. The Sky's the Limit show was a bit random at first, but then it got kicked off. That was with the headliners, which is the onboard entertainment team, and they were very good. Last night, so I have a manicure, we did a music and music from movies quiz, which we won, which was awesome. We joined up with some lovely northern folk and that was great. And then we what else do we do yesterday night? Oh, and then we went to the rock show with the house band Pulse. They were brilliant. The guy's voice was incredible. And then we went to see a comedian, Rory O'Hanlon, who did a lot of like audience-based comedy, which was really good. And then today we had breakfast at the restaurant and got off in Olden. Olden was so beautiful, but it is very tiny. We did the glacier sightseeing tour bus, which you can just pick up off the ship. You don't have to get a tour from the ship, and it cost us 300 krona each, which is 30-ish quid, a little bit less than that. So for what it was quite expensive because it was only an hour. It wasn't even quite an hour, and we got off, did one little photo stop at a mini waterfall, went up to, and they say it's glacier sightseeing. The glacier is very far away, you can't really see the glacier, but it was still absolutely beautiful. And the bus was really accessible as well, so that was a nice little tour. And then we just potted around the souvenir shops and the supermarket and came back to the ship. I went to the cinema this afternoon, which was lovely. Ian didn't want to go and see Marry Me, which was the Jennifer Lopez and Owen Wilson film, but I really enjoyed it. And the cinema on board, it's like a little studio screen, so there's probably only about 50 seats in there, but they get really busy. But it was a really lovely experience and I really enjoyed it. And then we did an individual quiz, which was quite hard. Didn't enjoy that one as much today. I still got 17 out of 20. I beat Ian. He only got 15 out of 20. he's still mad about it. Then we got dressed up, went for dinner, had some photos, went to see the comedian Tucker, who was very funny despite some casual sexism, but was generally very funny. And a real showman, put on a real show with songs as well as comedy. And then we've just been to see the aerialist performers in the Spark show, which was really cool. Like the Sky Dome is a really beautiful setup for that kind of show, but there was a lot going on all at once, so it was kind of hard to focus on what you were watching. But looking forward to tomorrow. Tomorrow we are going to Flam instead. We should have been going to Haugesund, but again, because of bad weather, we're going to Flam instead. So we'll see what that has to offer tomorrow. We'll see you then. Hey guys, we are in Flam. I'm not 100% sure how you say it. but we're finding it tricky finding things to do. We tried to go in the museum and there were some steps at the enemy, and it's all a bit busy and a bit tight, so we're just having a wander, and I think people have kind of got off and bagged the good things. We might do this little like self-drive adventure later, but it's all booked up for the next couple of hours and you can't like pre-book, so we'll find something to do, I'm sure. It's very pretty.
It's so cold. It's beautiful, but it's freezing. It's so cold. Ow.
You're right.
£100 for this. We won't do it again. Thought it would be a nice idea, didn't we? Oh well.
It's going in a straight line.
Just keep rowing, just keep rowing, just keep rowing, rowing, rowing. Oh. We got the hang of it a little bit on the way back. But we're never doing this again. My hips really hurt.
She hasn't even paddled.
Oh, I have! We're fine. We made it through. We made it through. And now we are almost back at our beloved ship. Ah, let's go! Ah!
Away.
We are very tired after a long day. We really enjoyed Flam. I still don't know how you say it. Considering it was a surprise port that we weren't meant to go to, it was the first time this ship has ever been to that port, and it's the biggest ship that's ever been in that port. I think it was a happy accident, because it was a sweet little place, a beautiful little place. We will never do sea kayaking ever again. It was very hard work and we're both feeling very sore. But then we've had a nice evening back on board. We did a little tiny bit of shuffleboard, which I won, even though I was exhausted. Ian's shaking his head over in the corner. I did win by a lot in the end. I had a rough start, but I won. And then we got in a hot tub and stayed there for probably like an hour and a half during sail away, which was just absolutely beautiful. And then we came back and had a shower and got ready for dinner. Had, I think, the best dinner we've had this cruise. I had 3 bean chili tacos, which does not sound that incredible, but it really was. With pico de gallo and guacamole, all gluten-free and vegan. Very tasty. And then we went to another acrobatics show. This one was called Rise, where the characters were all birds. And actually, if you're going to see one of the 2 acrobatic shows, one's called Spark and the other's called Rise, go and see Rise, because I think it was better, because Ian's nodding as well, because I think they gave the individual acts a bit more time, and you got to appreciate it a bit more. But seeing both, you don't need to see both, it's the same kind of show, just Spark is a lot more full on, and a bit too much. And then we just went to the silent disco, which was so much fun. I love a silent disco, I always think they're hilarious, so it was good to introduce you into them. So we've packed a lot in to another day. I'm not pacing this holiday very well, and I very much need to rest, so that is what I'm going to do. I'll see you tomorrow in Haugesund. Oh, my hair's ruined already. My hair was curly when we got off the ship. It's very windy here in Haugesund, and it's not very pretty. It's pretty industrial. We're just walking. They've said it's about a 15-minute walk to the main centre, so we're just going there and seeing what it's like. But they extended our call from being back on the ship at 5:30 to being back on the ship at 8:30 tonight. So I feel like we should find something to do, but I don't know how much there is here. If you don't want to like go on a full trip, this pavement is not fun. We'll let you know what we get up to. Ow. A man who was coming back towards the ship just warned us about a very steep bridge. And Ian thought he was joking. We're not even at the steepest point yet. You can do it.
See the top.
I'm sure there's some pretty views when we get to the top. You don't look impressed, I can't see over the wall. We made it to the other side of the bridge, and we're just walking through the city centre, but it's 10:30 and apart from people off the ship, it's quiet. Pretty much everything is still closed. So it feels quite strange, but we're gonna try and see what we can see, but there's not a whole lot here. Did you like Haugesund?
No.
Was it inaccessible or accessible?
Inaccessible.
It was very cobbly, very hilly, just a bit of a nightmare, and there really wasn't anything to do, even though we were definitely prepared to, you know, pay and go further afield. Yeah, there were some shops. It was a bit of like a high street situation with the odd thing about, but we didn't enjoy. So we're back on the ship and we're just gonna have a chilled day. But it's such a shame that it's the last port of the cruise, because, you know, everywhere else, I mean, I know we've only been to 2 places and we're meant to have been to 3, but everywhere else is so pretty that it's a shame to kind of end on this one. It feels like a bit of a
anticlimax.
Yeah, an anticlimax at the end of the holiday. So, but we'll have a fun day on board, just chilling. We're gonna go find some lunch. Hey guys, I'm not feeling too well at all. I've just overdone it the last few days, which is bound to happen on holiday. But I haven't paced it well and my body has said no, so I've slept most of the afternoon, but I'm still feeling rough. Ian's just gone down to the restaurant to see what they can do about dinner, because when you have like dietary requirements like I do, you kind of pre-order. So I pre-ordered yesterday for tonight, and you do that every night. So obviously there is food made specially for me somewhere on this ship, but it's whether we can have that same food as room service. So hopefully he'll be able to sort that out. Because I don't think I'm getting out of bed for a little while. Ow. So we've been having a bit of a nightmare with the food. They sent the food up, which was great, but Ian and I ordered the same thing for Maine, and mine was gluten-free, his wasn't. But they've sent 2 different main courses, both of which look gluten-y, so we don't know which is mine. So we've been in a half-hour ring around the roses phone battle while the food's got cold here on the bed, trying to figure out what was mine and what was his and what happened, because we thought, oh well, they could have changed mine because they couldn't do mine gluten-free, so they've done something else without telling us. And or they could have done, I don't know, it's all been a bit of a mess. So Ian's gone down there, but I've just had a call from the guy finally saying that they'll just send us new ones up. But now Ian's disappeared and I can't contact him, so it's all been a bit of fun, and really I just want to go back to sleep. Hey guys, it's our last day on board, which is really sad. We really don't want to go home, but it's been a lovely trip. It's a sea day today. We've packed up all of our stuff. It's slightly annoying that we have to leave it outside at 2 PM because it means that you have to bring off the ship tomorrow everything you want for the afternoon and evening. Usually when I've been on cruises before, it's only been for, you know, you put your bags outside before you go to bed. So it seems a little bit early, but I thought we'd give you a quick tour of the cabin while we're here. So we're in a partially accessible cabin and all the doors are automatic, which is really handy. And we'll just have a quick show you around. There is going to be a more in-depth video on my channel with a full room tour, but we thought we'd just show you the highlights because I know not everyone will be interested. But the partially accessible cabin is really, really good. It's got kind of enough space if you've got a small mobility aid or your ambulatory, but it doesn't have all the room that you might need if you're a non-ambulatory wheelchair user. There's space under the bed, there's a lot of storage, even with all the stuff I brought. There was still enough room. But what I am going to really quickly show you is the bathroom, because this is one of my absolute favourite things. It's the best accessible bathroom I've ever had in a hotel that I've been in. I know this isn't a hotel, but same kind of idea. It's just really, really easy, and everything is so adjustable. So you've got the shower seat there, which I love, and is can move up and down for whoever needs it. You've also got not only grab bars, but height adjustable grab bars and height adjustable sink, so you can bring that. Yeah, it's a little bit difficult, but as far down as you want, or as high up as you need it. So I really, really love the bathroom, definitely my favourite thing. However, the automatic doors can take a little while to close, but that's the same for all the bathrooms all over the ship. As I say, hope you've enjoyed that very quick tour, but if you want more in depth, then go and visit the other video. Let's go see what today has in store. So we spent our afternoon in one of the outdoor whirlpools, but it was way, way too cold. So we headed over to the Sky Dome, which is the indoor pool, and just chilled there for a little bit. The pool was full of kids, so I could only do a couple of whips without getting splashed, but it was still lovely to be able to spend time in there, even though it's absolutely freezing cold out in the North Sea outside, but it was a nice holiday vibe on the inside. And we had some snacks. Ian had a hot dog, I had some cake while we were sat by the pool, so that was lovely. But then I came back and spent most of the afternoon asleep again because I have been exhausted. But we're off out for our final dinner of the cruise. It's really, really sad. We've had such a lovely week. I don't want it all to end. Can we go round again, please? Oh! Uh-oh. We're on our way to our last late night snack of the cruise, having just watched Pulse, the resident party band, and they are brilliant. I think they've been the best entertainment throughout this cruise. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think so.
They just have all the energy. Their repertoire is ridiculous and their voices are incredible, and the band is incredible as well. I'm not sure if they're the same people every single cruise, because they said that the drummer was getting off after this one, but they are fabulous. The guy I think is called Sean, and his voice is wowzers. We're gonna go find some food. We are home, and sad to be home. I wish that I was back on the ship right now. We had such a lovely, lovely time. Disembarkation was all okay. You had to go to breakfast at least an hour before your designated disembarkation time, and as someone with access needs we were told to go to a specific place so that we could get some assistance, but there were a lot of people waiting, so they told us because Ian could push me that we could get off on our own if we wanted to, so that's what we did. But it did mean that we didn't have any help with our bags once we'd got off, and Ian couldn't push me and the bags, so I had to kind of struggle with my stuff and my walker. So I think in future we'd probably wait for the assistance so that we could have some help once we picked up our luggage, but it was all okay. The other thing, we did the parking at Southampton, which I've never done before, but it was very good, but there was no, or Ian booked it, so I'm not 100% sure, but we didn't get asked or tell them at any point that we were disabled, so when they'd parked the car for us to pick up, it was a long walk down to the other end of the car park where they'd parked the car, and obviously we had all our bags and I was struggling with my walker and bags and stuff, so it would be helpful if it were an option to tick I have a blue badge or something like that, so that they would park it closer to where you were going to be dropped off. Overall, we had such a wonderful experience, and Ian really enjoyed his first cruise, which I'm so pleased about because it means that we get to go on more of them in the future. A couple of things I would say is that I would really love to see something implemented with the lifts on board, because there was a lot of times that we were waiting a really long time because we just couldn't fit into a lift with my wheelchair. So some kind of priority system would be really helpful. And also an area that I think access really could be improved was around the pools. It's not something I need myself at the moment, but I couldn't see any kind of hoist or even any information as to how to get a hoist if you needed one. And the pools, it was doable. There was a time where my legs had got really tired after being in the pool, and I did manage to get out arms alone, but you kind of have to go up 2 sections. But all the hot tubs, the whirlpools, were either upstairs or the infinity whirlpools were up like a ladder pretty much. So they really weren't the best design in terms of accessibility. And it's funny because the whirlpools had a lovely disabled shower right opposite with a chair and everything, but then had a ladder to get up and into and down, which was quite difficult. I'm lucky I have a very strong fit young man to help me, but not everyone's going to be in that position, so I think that would be something to figure out when they're looking at the new ships in the future. Another thing I wanted to add was just about getting on and off the ship every day. All the ports we went to were absolutely fine in terms of getting on and off, which hasn't always been the case when I've been on cruises with my wheelchair. I felt very safe with 2 strong guys that took me up and down, because there's a fair ramp, so you had to have someone kind of supporting you and taking you down backwards in a transit chair like mine. But also my friend just happened to be on the same cruise, and she is in a big power chair, and she had no problems either. So I think it's a good cruise in that respect. However, the staff, this is probably because I was in a transit chair, I hope that's the case, but because Ian was pushing me, they always asked Ian and were kind of like, "Sir, can I take?" And I didn't really feel like a person in those situations, and it didn't feel very nice considering I'm the one that's having to put my trust in these guys to take me down safely. It would have just been nice if they'd have spoken directly to me and asked if I was okay for them to take me, not as if I was a thing that they were taking away from Ian. So yeah, that's my only thing, and I really hope that that's something that they can educate staff on and improve, because it would make a big difference. Whilst it wasn't ideal that we missed Stavanger and Haugesund, we did have a lovely, lovely time, and we actually really, really enjoyed Flam. I think it was our favourite place. I still don't know how you say it, whether it's Flam or Flam, but I think that was the favourite place of the whole cruise. So it's a bit sad that that's not regularly on the itinerary, but I hope maybe they think about adding it because it was a really, really beautiful place. Thank you so much for coming along on our cruise with us. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, I would love you to subscribe to my channel for more disability and chronic illness chat, and also hopefully more travel in the future. I'm also going to be doing a kind of cruise Q&A for anyone who's interested on cruising in general, so if you have any specific questions, please put them in the comments and I will film that really, really soon. And we're also going to post our full partially accessible room tour, so do look out for those and subscribe so you're ready for them. Sending spoons and love your way. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you very soon for the next video.